Welcome back to Jujutsu Kaisen Anime Review Episode 28. We're here reviewing the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero film that was released a little while ago. I think about a couple years ago, I think it was. Let's see. Just want to make sure of this. Released in US like 2 years ago. The movie is an hour and 45 minutes. It is an adaptation of the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero manga, aka Jujutsu Kaisen High, written by the same guy who wrote the main series. So, excuse me. Now, the three primary characters you see in the main Jujutsu Kaisen series are not here. But here's a bit of a surprise for you. All the rest of the cast is here. Yep. Now, we introduce this. Now, this chronologically, from the point of view of the series, this takes place after the Gojo early years arc that was seen in the start of season 2. That's you can basically put this arc like right. You can put this movie right. You can basically watch that first. You can watch that like chronologically. That arc came first, then this movie, and then the main show. So mostly put basically we have a brand new character who was just actually introduced at the end of season 2 of the show, Yuta. Yuta Okasaru. Yeah. So he's a 16-year-old kid who was about to look like about to graduate high school. Of course, he's being bullied. Now it's shown in a flashback, which they mention it's been 6 years for this movie, so it could be around the same time as Hidden Years. Who knows? Where Yuta was celebrating looked like his 10th birthday, and his childhood friend gave him an engagement ring as a promise they would get married when he got older. I mean, how I doubt they tell parents this. And then, like, not long after this, she's run over by a car. Her head is she's basically killed instantly, and then she becomes a curse. Yes, a 10-year-old girl becomes a cursed spirit. Why? Now they do in fact show another flashback of how these two met. Well, thanks to a scene in a hospital where Yuta was in the hospital for some reason, just happened to come across her. Like, he just happened to walk by her room and sees her, and probably knows the fact how pretty she is. And they just proceed to hang out with each other, and that's how they became fast friends. Probably presumably they all fell for each other, but basically the way Chodak basically understand it. So, then of course, apparently because Rika and his cursed spirit form apparently doesn't like people bullying basically Yuta. A few people who were bullying him got stuffed into a freaking locker and killed. Then, of course, he's locked himself in a room, and he's about to scheduled to be executed, thinking, wait a minute, a main character story executed because of a cursed spirit? Does that sound very familiar? Yes, it sounds a lot like the main character of the present day series. Yuji Itadori. Yes, it's very similar to that. Yes, it's very, very similar to that. So, despite that, Gato takes under his wing and brings the Jujutsu Kaisen, and we're introduced to our three supporting characters in this movie, who are also supporting characters in the main series. Those being Maki, Panda, and the guy who speaks basically rice ball ingredients. Togi Toki one. Yeah, this guy here. Yeah, and of course apparently because he's cursed, and of course they threaten him, and of course after reducing him. Then not long after this, they proceed to go on a mission. Or Maki, where it's about basically she doesn't like to be called by her last name at all. They're going to an elementary school to investigate a cursed spirit. Excuse me, that caused like 2 children to disappear. And of course, we find out in this scene here that Yuta is a special grade Jutsu sorcerer because of the cursed spirit he has. And Maki, I believe she says she's like a level 1, I believe she is. Let me take a look at it to be sure about that. Okay, so yeah, apparently because she can't exactly see cursed energy unless she has her weapon and her glasses. Her weapon gets dropped in the scene, and well, while reading the thing, and all of a sudden, a cursed spirit shows up, and they get absorbed, and they, of course they find the kids inside, no problem. And she's infected, but they able to get him out thanks to using Rika, where he just takes off the engage. He wears a white shirt underneath. He has like a necklace with a ring on, basically the gauge ring. He takes it off, puts on, uses her strength basically to destroy the creature. And despite the damage to the school, the kids came out perfectly fine. They're recovering perfectly fine. I think Maki received very little injury. She got like a wound on her leg. From the look of it, it seemed like she was cut on one of the creatures, like one of his teeth. And that lets that flashback scene there. So it's like, oh, you got exit. No, we're basically on the side. And then we're bringing into Sachiro Geijo, the main villain of this movie, and also one of the main villains of the primary series. Well, this is the actual one, not the imposter in the main series. We're introduced to his family, where 2 of whom actually are seen in the present day. They get killed by Sutuna because what happened with him. Not particularly this movie per se, but because basically what happened. Like, it's not mentioned exactly if they blame Goto for killing him. They just basically blame the demon possessing his body. And it's also revealed that I remember in the scene, in Shibuya incident, where it was revealed that one of the girls actually had a thing for him. Yes, seriously, a guy who's... Satoru Gojo, at the time of his passing, was 27. Yes, and the girl who liked him, 12 years younger. Yeah, so pretty much basically like we see that he gets rid of a cursed spirit who's been harming a woman very just by touching her. So she absorbs it, and after they leave, he proceeds to swallow the cursed spirit. Yes, Gato has this thing for swallowing cursed spirits. If you're curious, did he do in the main series? He did. And if you're curious how he got the way he did here, watch the Gato early years arc. That basically is a prequel to this scene here. Yep. So then, of course, after they was at another mission, this time with Toga, where Gato was not there with the Ghost was not there with the veil. This is another person, and they go and apparently they have to go to this mall. Excuse me, the shopping district that was demolished to be a mall, which any damage to this thing would be perfectly fine. The place all closed here. Also, Toga basically has this thing where it's kind of similar to Black Bolt from Marvel Comics. Wherever he speaks causes collateral damage. But this is a cursed build. This is a cursed energy ability, not an human ability. But it's very similar. Except that he actually can talk normally, except that he only speaks in rice ball ingredients. So he gets himself like a throat medication, which apparently the cursed thing is actually very harmful toward him. So then apparently the minor cursed spirits are there, just look like fish, talking fish. Tails explode, and he's like, oh, they're done. Okay, that was easy. And then basically a grade 1 spirit shows up, where he needs to break it, and of course they cause some damage there. He drops the thing. Of course, the spirit does not notice the fact he dropped it. I don't know if he cared. And shows the fact also, it's revealed here a little later that apparently Toga is very similar to Yuta, where is like because of him being discriminated against because of ability. Like, okay, interesting. So then, of course, thanks to Yuta, Yuta part of this, Goto decided to take him to a weapons room to give him some weapon. So he said use a katana, which is what he used in his when I first saw him in the end of season 2 of the show. Mm-hmm. Which it keeps like not like when you think of katana like wrapped around your shoulder, like Deadpool will do, but this one's wrapped in cloth to keep it hidden. Oh, by the way, samurai never wore their swords like that. From pictures I've seen, they always wore their swords at their waist, similar to how knights do in medieval knights. Always swords at the hip, never on their back. That was something ninjas basically like doing. As for Yuta like doing that, I'm not sure. So he uses Rika's ability to slice the demon up, eventually he's destroyed. And despite the air barrier, and then Gato apparently picks up the. We used to see it when he was at the school. He picked up his card, and of course he gets the card back in the movie. So then, like not long after this, we have training between Maki and Yuta, and of course, Panda gets an idea. He says, "Yuta, go over here. Do you like big breast or small breast?" And he gives him an answer he kind of likes. He's like, Maki, here's a shot with you. And then Maki proceeds to beat up Panda. I thought that was just funny. Yep. Of course, Yuta shows the fact that they mentioned in the movie that they show a little bit of training he has. It seems like he's very serious about being a Jutsu sorcerer. And then, of course, Yato shows up with his group. Says, I declare war on you. We're basically going to attack these two places here on December 24th, the night of 100 demons. The 100 spirits. You think, wait, December 24th, isn't that Christmas Eve? It is. So they seal the area off, maybe civilians, and of course you have the curse users basically bound. We also see cameos by the Kaito School students we see in the main series that popped up toward the end of season 1 of the show. Like Toto, the Witch Girl, basically anybody associated with that group, including Maki's younger sister, who was basically a jerk. She's here too. Yeah, and by the way, while this is going on, Maki stays at school and tells Yuta that she really wants to, when she becomes strong, she wants to massacre her whole clan. Which you can say that is pure setup for the Cullen game arc. Yes, it is. And she says she couldn't stand being there because the food was terrible and a bunch of old men. Yes. And then she goes fight out Gato where she gets wounded. And then, by the way, also Panda and Toki, he basically, they're out the field, they get transported back. And of course, Panda goes basically to his hyper panda mode, battles Gato to get wounded, The Yuta shows up, transports him to the location, gets him healed, and it seems like Rika's about to harm Maki, but Yuta's like, no, she's fine. She's fine. And of course, well, they basically about Gato's great battle sequence is so awesome. Yep. And then eventually loses full power. It's like, oh, be with him fully. And then he beats him. Though he kind of gets away. And of course, Gato shows up. And of course, like, who are you? I'm your handsome teacher. Yes, he seriously said that. And then long after this, basically, by the way, he later basically kills Goto. Well, Gato, his best friend. And of course, he gets back to the thing. And it's also revealed that Yuta is, in fact, a descendant from, believe it or not, one of the big name sorcerers. Yes. They reveal that he's actually a descendant of someone by the name of Mukizune Cigar, and apparently Gato is a relative of his. Interesting. A lot of big vengeful spirits. I'm like, that's really interesting, the fact that they did that. Oh, yeah, by the way, they also introduced one of the guys named Miguel, which of course Gato battles, Gojo battles, and then we cut to the post-credits scene after the whole battle, though everything is over with, and Yuta gets back his card, and then we cut to Kenya. I think it's Kenya, but it's someplace in Africa, where Miguel apparently is now working with him, and then the movie ends with Gojo showing up about to chat with him. I'm like, okay, interesting. It seems kind of weird, though, the fact that Miguel is here. It's like we've seen fighting him in the movie. But the movie's really good nonetheless. I do recommend it. Now, if you're curious, this movie, from what I heard, did big bucks in Japan. Like, the only reason why this movie came out at the time, because the Demon Slayer movie, Mugen Train, did humongous gangbusters. Like, apparently made as much like equivalent to US currency for an anime movie. That movie made $500 million for an anime feature. This movie made $196.2 million. That's actually pretty good for an anime movie, because normally, if you think about it, like, the highest it might get maybe 50 million or occasionally 100, but not almost 200 million. So you could definitely say yes, that, well, the movie was a success. Oh, in the case of these characters, now Yuta is voiced by Kaylee McGee. Oh, by the way, Rika, they have this whole thing in the movie. He wants to basically free her from this, and he does. The only reason why he doesn't kill her. She doesn't kill him because basically it was by accident. Yeah. And you might find this interesting. Does Kaylee McGee, does she come back to play the character for the show? Yes, she does. Rika is voiced by Andreas Cornus. She's Echidna from ReZero, and she was Yurichi for one episode of Bleach Stars and Blood War, for they replaced her for no reason. She was also in I've Been Killing Slimes for 300 Years, Maxed Out My Level. How Realistic Became. She was the Dark Elf of the series, the wife number 2. She was Demon Slayer, Sahinelsru. She was Elena from Attack on Titan final season, and Mariko from the end of season 2, the Rabbit Hero. But most of everybody else, with the exception of those two, it's pretty much the same people from the show. Yeah, they never, from what I can tell anyways, with the voice actors, it's the same people from the show, so I do appreciate the fact they kept the same voice cast. Which, in my opinion, makes total sense. Yes. I'm going to give the film a rating of a 10 out of 10. The movie was really good. I love the animation. The movie. It looks so gorgeous. the fact that Mappa did an excellent job with this movie. Yeah, this was excellent. Yeah, and I can't wait for the Culling game, which is supposed to come early soon. It's supposed to be the 13th of the show. No announce date for that one, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yep. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for particular view. Um, I'm gonna go and get some gas, and then be right back to work on my review for Martial Magic Muscles. Okay, next view. Bye.